This is just another win they have to take to continue their streak.
I think it's only Team Solo Mid who's beaten everybody, right?
Yeah, in a row.
In a row,
exactly.
right.
Dignitas will have to take out Team Solo Mid a little bit later if they want to continue.
They got to wait. They do have a big 3-game weekend since their bye week. Dignitas is coming in with a heavy schedule, and this is the second game of the day for Dignitas. And we'll see what Curse can do in their first game of the day. They have been watching and waiting for this to go down. We are on to the Rift. We see Cruiser getting his Mundo again. He played it earlier, got the win, looking to make it 5 in a row.
Yeah, Curse's team composition is well balanced damage-wise, but in a slightly different way than you'd expect. A lot of times when teams want to play Yasuo in the mid lane, they have trouble fitting in magic damage for the rest of their team comp, and especially when you consider a Pantheon jungle, you'd think Curse is going to have a real struggle doing it.
Yeah.
Very few AP top laners are played. Normally something like Rumble would be what you would see, but the Gragas, big surprise pick, and I really like it against a Mundo. I really do think that Curse picked the Gragas, thinking Voidboy could go mid lane if he wanted to with it.
And they see
once they saw the Mundo, they said, all right, we're doing this top lane. Because Dr. Mundo is a very non-interactive laner. He will basically just try and survive and farm, which means that Quas can completely survive in that top lane and farm to monstrous proportions.
A body slam, keeping him safe in the long lane. Usually you don't see that.
If he wants to escape.
Right. He starts with the Doran's Ring. So it looks like they're going to keep themselves just farming as you would. Cleaver's Barrels, looking around the map, though. Both teams are kind of a pick comp, I'm sorry. How is that going to work out as they come to the game? It's just going to be a bloodbath.
There's a lot of assassination potential, absolutely. And very squishy people. As far as Curse is concerned, the Alistar is the only one with the potential to be very tanky, unless Quas does something crazy on Gragas. Which means if Curse falls behind, I think they're in more trouble than Dignitas will. They have a lot of damage follow-up. They have a lot of people who can dive in, but if they're all diving in while they're squishy, they're going to get peeled really hard by Kiwi Kid's Thresh and not necessarily be able to take much out of it.
We see Kiwi Kid with the sweeper to start as well on his side. Looks like they're going to keep a little bit more control of that brush in the bottom lane and not allow too many engagements. We said Saint was going to be aggressive, and that's a good way to keep it down.
Yeah, Alistar is actually not that strong of a laner. He is more about his team fight presence. I think Cop and St. Fishes are going to be playing very passive. Cop's just going to be worrying about getting his adoration stacks. We're going to keep tabs on these because Cop is one of the best people at stacking adoration stacks.
We saw that
He had a game earlier in the LCS where we had 650, and there was a fight around the Baron pit where he was like an inch away from getting kills 4 or 5 times, was never able to get it, and then he lost half his adoration stacks. But anyway, he's going to be stacking Adoration. St. Fish is going to be defending and peeling for him. And when they get gank support from Owl Dominate, then they go aggressive. But outside of that, they will be super passive.
When they get this right here, that gank support, Cutie Pie
like
keeping
this.
It safe. Can he get the Aegis on? You're definitely in jump range, but is the team ready? He wants to make sure they can follow up. They flash for Kiwi Kid, going in very strong there. They get his flash, but he doesn't go very far. The red buff is on. The headbutt is there. The kill for Cop. First blood.
Well, he cashed in on his adoration right there. It just wasn't very much because he hadn't stacked in so long. But that's exactly what they're trying to do in that lane. They play on their back feet until I Will Dominate comes in, and then they stack the CC. They got both the jump stun from Pantheon and the pulverize from Alistar before Kiwi Kid could flash away, and it allowed them to secure the kill.
Very interesting choice to blow everything off a Kiwi Kid on that one. They don't go for the Cutie Pie.
Well, it's because Cutie Pie would have been able to flash and dash away, which means they couldn't have closed after he flashed, which means that was the only guaranteed kill they could get.
Considering every in and out of the fight before Curse came in, and it showed with the kill. First blood under 4 minutes. We'll see what they can keep doing. We've seen the early aggression of Pantheon paying big today in each game.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he's such a feared pick. So many team compositions, especially when they're squishy like this, really rely on getting ahead early. Pantheon is just the perfect guy to fit into that puzzle.
See what Cop can do. He gets it back, a quick scepter, so he's going to have that damage advantage in lane. He's nicely pushed, so they go back at the perfect time. Already about a 700 gold lead coming in here. Yeah. Curse is going to try to keep extending this. Looks like Pantheon may be making a head towards mid.
Yeah, as Quas actually putting a lot of harass down, knowing there's no gank pressure up there regardless. But about the mid lane, A little surprised Scar started with Cloth Armor 5 potions. He's got a gank coming in. He's going to have to burn flash at least.
There's a stun going down. The Shroud's going to be there. Sane is also roaming middle. There's the headbutt into the wall. And the Pulverize, knowing that the wall would stun him up a little bit. Beautifully and calmly played.
Level 3 roam by St. Vicious after they shoved up the lane. Caught Scar completely off guard at that point. That is something that Zcant probably would not have done in this situation.
No.
Saint shot calling, ganking, jungler instinct coming in right there. Comboing a gank with I Will Dominate.
Well, you said the laning phase for Alistar wouldn't be that strong, so...
The roaming phase sure is.
The roaming phase coming up with some big kills. 1,000 gold in the lead now. Crumbs being called with Kiwi Kid to middle. They are causing Dig to react heavily here.
Yeah, what an impressive roam right there, shutting down Skara. Skara wanted to rush the Seeker's Arm Guard. That's why he started with a Cloth Armor instead of a Dorn Shield.
Smart.
But he ended up dying. The extra health and the health regen from the Dorn Shield may have saved him in that situation.
Like you
Tricky
said,
call.
Maybe not a call we would have seen with Zcant in the game, so that voice proving useful so far with St. Vicious on support. The teleport back for Cruiser in the top lane, and Quaz has not been doing too bad in this lane.
Yeah, that's, like I said, non-interactive lane
Right.
from Mundo. So Quaz is free to farm. He's actually out-farming Cruiser. Mundo gets out-farmed by almost everything at this point. When he transitions down, it's going to be very important. But the Dignitas composition is actually something we haven't talked about much. They're way more conventional when we consider it. They can have double tanks that dive in with Cruiser and Crumbs. They can be the tank buddies that go in and just try and brute force down Cop. Kiwi Kid is going to try and peel the assassins off from Curse, and a lot of it will really just hinge on how farmed Scar gets. Because Scar and Vi going in together, if they can't finish off Cop like right away, it's going to be trouble. Cop will finish them off. Voyboy will be unleashed onto the backline and destroy I'm a Cutie Pie, and so much actually hinges on Scar's strength in this game.
Well, they're going to have a lot of threats to focus here, depending on how big Quas gets. Dominate's going to be doing damage. Voyboy and Cop on Yasuo and Draven, so Curse really looking to bring the pain to these fights. We'll see if Dignitas can get themselves big enough and defended enough before that happens. Cop 32 to 56 in that bottom lane, so the back kind of hurting there.
That's kind of the
lost his roamer.
The thing that happens when you lose your support to mid lane. Obviously, Curse puts a lot of importance on helping out Yasuo in that lane, since Akali can decimate him under the right circumstances, and that is the price they pay. They're losing heavily. If we think back, even though Curse was able to get a kill, they were losing that lane pretty badly before. Like as we said, Alistar's not a good laner.
Right.
So Curse definitely getting pushed into it.
And as you said, that Akali versus Yasuo has been swapped in the top and the mid lane because they didn't like it either.
Yeah, they're getting completely out of that. This is nice, too. It's mainly a swap due to the itemization. The Seeker's Arm Guard is not effective against Quas's Gragas, and he might be able to blow Scar up now.
Very well played.
Especially
the jump to the middle.
There is a counter game coming.
Do they have a pink ward? They have 2 pink wards to be used in this. Scar gets hit up quite hard, but the assault battery comes in big. Oh! He dives right back into the fight, and he thinks he's going down, but he doesn't. Very nice, and the excessive force damage coming in. Quas almost going down here. Is he going to go under? They got the red buff. He turns the other way. You faker.
Well, 1 for 1 right there. Kill onto... Wait, who was the kill on? Gragas.
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at the mid lane.
Huzzah. Well, he is in the mid lane now.
And onto Scar. So I'd say that was just a nice counter gank by Crumbs. You usually get destroyed by Pantheon's ganks because you can't really predict where they go. You can't see them coming. But knowing that Curse had already kind of showed their hand, that they were trying to shut down Scar, not only did they do a roam up early on in the game, they're now doing a Pantheon gank and a lane swap. Just meant some good stuff from him. Great punch by Crumbs. He stopped the jump from I Will Dominate with his Vault Breaker.
That could not have been timed any better. And Scar doing it as he should. Much damage before you die.
Yeah. Just cannot really peel Akali. She has too many jumps.
She got bounced, 800 range out of the fight. Right back in. Punch you in the throat.
No problem.
9 minutes into the game. 3-1 here. It's about 700, 900 gold lead. They're going to be getting it pretty well for themselves. Looks like Curse will just be taking these jungle camps. Dominate's going to wait for that ultimate to come back up. And we can see that Voyboy quite close to a static shift. Already has that Zeal up.
Yeah, that's the item Yasuo generally goes for. Double crit on Yasuo just by his passive. Crit chances doubled, which means people go static shift Infinity Edge and 5% crit on their rune page, which is what Voyboy does, to reach 100% crit and get the reliable damage.
Looking at the build from Cop. Starting with the pickaxe himself with that early back and the kills that he got. He was looking for damage in the lane. He's facing up against Cutie Pie, who's got his BF sword on one of his first backs. And that CS lead still in the bottom lane and also in the jungle. But we have to consider that Dominate has been affecting the lanes with ganks.
Absolutely right here. Cop, Adoration stacking up for him, actually. Sitting on a lot of stacks. You can actually see those I Will Dominate waiting in the wings. His Pantheon ultimate is up. Here it comes again.
That's what he was waiting for, Jack. Going in, the Lantern. Oh, he's
cancel it. Everybody calm down.
God, everybody's fooling.
He decided
today.
not to. Keep jungling. But when he canceled it that early, like before the enemy can see it, its cooldown isn't really crushed. It's a 5-second cooldown. He can come again.
Oh, he can come again, but this time Crumbs is on the backside. They were feeling this, and it looks like it is going to be right into Kiwi Kid. He goes to blow his flash. The exhaust is still down for him to use. He uses it. The Draven ulti coming through. Cutie Pie looking to take down Dominate, and they go very hard in the 2v1 in him. Cop now being the focus. St. Vicious looking. Oh, he flashes to pulverize. He can't even get the chance to do it. Cop goes down, though. They trade 80 carry for 80 carry in the Retribution kill, and it just leaves Crumbs insane.
Yeah, but Cop got both of those kills cashed in. He had about 140 stacks of Adoration before that one and got some big money off of that gank. He is going to be a very strong Draven right now. If we actually look at the gold, he is ahead of I'm a Cutie Pie by 300 despite being down in the lane. So I'd say very successful gank once again by I Will Dominate and St. Vicious. Yeah, just they lock down Kiwi Kid so fast. They jump right onto him, and they hit him in the dead center, which means that Pantheon ult does more damage. And just watch how Cop catches axes throughout this. It's ridiculous. He even caught that one as Crumbs went through him. It's why Cop is so good at Draven. He played it all throughout the summer split, trying to get this going. Always able to get one after the other, keep both of them spinning, and just enough damage at the end to take him down.
He almost lived there. That was a minion kill
really
from
close.
all of the auto attacks that were in the air there. Great job catching the axes.
Dignitas was able to take the dragon, obviously.
Yeah,
we saw
dragon
the lower
after
pit.
that.
Keep the gold close in this game, which is incredibly key to stop Curse from just destroying this game with their global gank pressure from I Will Dominate. Not to mention how they have so many squishy people, Quas, AP Burst on Gragas, comboed up with Yasuo. It's going to be very tricky.
They're doing a great job of keeping the vision up so they are the first ones to act on these fights and not be caught off guard. You see in the bottom lane, a few wards, just the regular wards to keep them safe. And Cop, he is kind of waiting. He doesn't have anybody to babysit him right now, so he can't farm this.
Yeah, he's getting abandoned a fair bit, but he's getting the help when he needs it.
Yeah.
It is a fair trade if you're an 80 carry right now. Your farm isn't all that matters. A lot of times it's your kills. Got the wave stacked up. Catch a few more axes.
It's very interesting purchases from Curse here. A lot of consumable wards being purchased. The rush of the Talisman of Ascension with no Sightstone and Vision for Saint.
Yeah, he is definitely trying to take his presence throughout the map. This is something some Alistar players like to do when they're ahead, is just rush the Talisman. Alistar is all about move speed. It's about getting into range for a headbutt and pulverize. And additionally, it's about the cooldown reduction. It's the best stat you can have on Alistar since he is so reliant on his headbutt and pulverize.
Right.
The closer you get to 40%, the more effective you become. I think we're just going to see another...
Yeah, the man
Pantheon
drops
right here.
one
Yep.
after the other. A vicious cycle here. It's going to be the Lantern. A very nice
Goodbye.
play as well, but it's not going to be enough. The culling. Cutie Pie puts himself in the fight. He says, oh, I think he's a turret. I want to take that
Cruiser's
down.
here.
Cruiser comes in. Here comes Crumbs. Flashes. Assault and battery into the fight as well. An excessive force will be used against this Curse squad. They are going to get one. They are going to get two. Saint looks to do what he can as a mad cow, and he looks to dodge the last cleaver.
All right, 2 for 2, but the teleport did have to be used by Cruiser right there, and it's crazy. Where I was thinking about how much adoration we're going to count for Cops. This is going to be great. He doesn't have big stacks of it because he's getting so many damn kills in lane at this point. Curse, though, more pressure out of that one. They did not have to use the teleport. They get a turret in return, and they trade the 2 kills for 2.
First world problem. Too many stacks, too many kills.
And just look how fast they burst down Kiwi Kid. He has almost no chance in these ones. Well-targeted man drops by I Will Dominate. I'm a Cutie Pie, definitely trying to stay and wait for Crumbs to come in. Very close to being able to turn this one around. Just got bursted down right before Crumbs could come in. And there was very little the Curse could do to a monster Mugo who came in at that point.
Saints Alistar play really on point.
It's been pretty good.
The headbutts into the wall is fantastic because you get that extra bit of just kind of lockout, and then you pulverize him into the ground. Making sure he's getting everything he needs as Void Boy and Cruiser going back and forth up top. Cruiser knows There's some damage to be had there. The static shift is finished, and even if Akali comes up, pink wards are had to be exiting or entering these fights for the kill.
Yeah, and Yasuo is very dangerous at this stage in the game. Laning phase, generally in the mid game, is what's weak for Yasuo. Yasuo's got a very strong level 1 to 3 because his E can do so much damage early once you stack up a few dashes with it. But then he needs his items to bring him back in the late game. And he has a static shift now. He needs to get his Infinity Edge before he becomes powerful again. But based on the fact that he's sitting on that 1 kill, has more farm than the enemy mid laner in Skara, means that things are going very well for Voivo's Yasuo right now.
Very well indeed. If you have an Akali jump on you right now, there's enough power on Curse to explode Skara. He has been very docile on an Akali for this portion. He hit 6 quite a bit ago.
Yeah. There's not too much impact that's been seen by Skara. I think a lot of it just had to do with how pressured he got early on in lane. He's also been mitigated greatly by the fact that they swapped Gragas into his lane after he had itemized for Yasuo.
That was a great move.
Yeah, really just adding insult to injury there with that lane swap.
Looking at Quas, 100, 154, and you got to consider it's kind of between Cruiser's CS and Skara's CS as those lanes were swapped, but he's still winning. And he's still providing some great play. We've always looked at him on Curse to say, when is he going to come out? And it's just consistent. Maybe it won't ever be amazing. He's always been a good player.
Yeah. Cobb, always, forever on Curse. Doing well, honestly. Bloodthirster, Last Whisper coming soon. He's going to be doing a truckload of damage, I think, in some of these fights. Knowing that St. Vicious is just leading the way.
That's been an interesting Alistar.
Good.
The early roam, fantastic
They're always
play.
just waiting for these ganks. I mean, how many more ganks will Owl Dominant have to do? I almost feel like Crumbs has a timer going off in his head now. He's played Pantheon. He knows the cooldown of Grand Skyfall, and he's waiting for it to come again because this has happened 2 or 3 times already. Crumbs is trying to preempt it this time.
They're waiting in the shadows right now.
Oh,
this is going to
so
be a
clever.
perfect counter.
Curse expects a counter, so they're sending more people. They know the teleport's down at this point.
Well, it's 30 seconds for Dragon, so something will happen eventually. That's easy enough to say, right?
I think something will happen eventually. That's a safe call.
Made it. All right, now we just watch. Yeah, the 2,000 gold lead. It's those items that's maybe keeping Dig at bay right now from those initiations, waiting for Curse to kind of walk into the wrong spot and explode them out of these fights. They've been trying bottom over and over again.
I think it's
to no avail.
Good place to focus their ganks, knowing that mid lane is kind of won by the fact that Scar is playing so passively against Quas's Gragas. And Kopp wants to keep getting those adoration stacks going. Sitting on 82 of them right now, 84.
So Hextech Gunblade finished up on the side of Skara. We have a BF sword coming out for Void Boy, so there's a little bit of damage on top of that crit now. And it looks like they will start to posture for this dragon.
This is a very large moment in the game. Uh-oh, Quas.
Whoa! Quas gets hit up immediately. Is the pink ward going to go down? No, it is not there for them yet. Skara, wait, Quas stays alive. In the backside, he lives with about 10 HP. St. Vicious comes in. Cutie Pie can't even move. Instantly suffocated in the fight. And a great collapse from Curse.
Quas just an inch away from death, but then gets his full burst out onto the Dignitas team. They destroy them in that team fight and secure another dragon in just a blink of an eye.
Gotta be careful when you're fighting a drunk man. They can do some pretty crazy things. 400 gold, 1,000 gold. Yes, my brain works. In the lead right now with that dragon with the man drop. Grand Skyfall. Saint, are you in range? The flash, the flay, the Aegis, and now the headbutt. Wait a minute. That's
wrong way. Yep.
No one saw that.
No. Kiwi Kid with the timely flash. Made St. Vicious hit him in the wrong way. Let's check out this team fight. Quas gets caught blinded here. You think they could finish him off, but then he gets down both his Q and his R, which then makes cleanup an easy thing. Pantheon gets crits on people that are 15% lower. Void Boy even saves his ultimate because Cutie Pie was on his way over to help support. And everything fell apart because they weren't able to burst Quas down immediately. If we think about that fight,
that was crazy.
In a world where Quas does die, everything actually goes the other way. I'm a Cutie Pie's realm works.
Oh, Void Boy, wow, he goes to the other side. Now back through his wall. He's trying to work the wind, but he can't cut it just right.
Not that slippery.
Nope.
There's a fist with his name on it right there. Assault and Battery finishes off Void Boy real easy. At least Dig gets a little something back. They needed it.
And something I got to mention on that last fight, as we just see Quas for a second.
Go for
he was fully drink on his drunken rage there. Fully popped up.
Yeah,
if he was not, he would have died. So they kind of used him as a sentry. They're like, you go walk in here.
You got to get into the habit of just constantly using your W anytime it's up, because you don't know when being drunk's going to come in handy.
When does it come in handy?
When you're driving. It's usually never a good thing.
Well, technically they're in the driver's seat, so
there you go.
They made it work. 20 minutes on the clock, 9-6, 4,000 gold in the lead. And it looks like they're only ready to pressure that even more. The Black Cleavers finished up on to dominate, along with the Lizard Elders. It was finished quite a while ago, and he has been bringing out the assist at least for his team. He's participating in the 9 kills.
Yeah, there's been a lot of team participation so far by Curse. They're really trying to take this lead into their own hands. And we mentioned how Scar's farm was going to be so pivotal if Dignitas wanted to walk away with victory. He just hasn't gotten going. With his Gunblade completed at this point, it's kind of his moment, but I just feel like Cop is too strong. If he tries to dive on top of Cop, he's just going to get an axe to the face. Uh-oh, here it comes, going for Scar.
Oh, very nice Lantern. Something we got to watch out for with that Thresh pick against the Pantheon. 117, I should say, for Crumbs and CS to Pantheon's 80, which just shows that Dominate has been trying to do a lot of falling from the sky this game. He's got it to work quite a bit of times. We just talked about how much his kill participation is up top. This is not looking good for Cop.
Nice
He gets hit up once. There's the Assault and Battery. They go right under the turret. That's the barrier right away, and he does what he can with Dominate, creeping on the backside a little too late.
Yeah, very nice flash into Vault Breaker so we could just burst him down with damage, and then Ultimate. One of the highest damage normal spells in the game. 340 base damage on Vault Breaker at max rank there. Really blowing up Cobb.
So that's when getting caught at the pub doesn't help. Quaz was just a few seconds too late on the engage there. They do have good coverage up and down that side of the jungle, so if anything were to happen here, they would really have a power play pushing Dignitas out of this mid lane. But looks like Dig has already left themselves. They're going to go back to farming in the jungle. 3,000 gold down. It's not looking too grim for them. They're getting the items they need.
They've had a couple nice things happen to them since they lost the Dragon fight. They have both been keyed off of Crumbs' ganks. 1-0-5 on Vi. He's the one really keeping them in the game right now. He ganked top lane, got a kill on Voyboy, ganked bottom lane, got a kill on the Cobb. And they've taken that gold lead, which was 5,000, down to about 1,500. But the thing that they really have to worry about is the fact that Voyboy now has enough gold for his Infinity Edge. Meaning that if he gets a knock on Viscara, he's going to basically burst him out. I'm a Cutie Pie is equally as vulnerable. The healing potential for the people that need to deal damage on Dignitas isn't high enough based on how much power the assassins on Curse have.
Well, Curse looking to assassinate quickly. Viscara jumps in. If Cutie Pie even gets in range, and that's kind of been St. Vicious's key here, is finding Cutie Pie in these fights, taking him out. They pinched him in last time. The Dragon wasn't the spot that Dignitas wanted to fight. And looks like they won't have any better of a chance fighting outside the Dragon either. They're just getting pushed around right now.
Yeah, Curse is trying to take control of the jungle and then find the right fight. They have the Talisman completed. Remember, Dignitas does not. They're going to try and chase really quickly. You could see Curse actually hoped Dignitas fell back straight through their lane because Alistair was flanking around the side. Now they're just going to try and push mid because they know Dignitas doesn't want to come up against them. This is a great push
they
right
also
here by
don't
Curse.
have a Cutie Pie or anybody in place for this. They have 3 people backing right now. No,
Let's see how much damage they get on this
wave.
turret. There's just nobody in place for Dignitas right now. The minions run out.
Kiwi Kid being there with the chance to crowd control. A little bit of a deterrent, and they back off as 5, but this is still a very powerful group of Curse here. Yeah. Looks like they're going to try to play some tricks.
I don't think Curse knew how well they had it right there. They didn't realize Dignitas was so out of position. Otherwise, they would have stuck around a bit more for that turret.
30 seconds on the Dragon, and anything that happens up top here, they're saying, when's the red? Maybe we have the timer.
They're trying the same maneuver again.
They do have the red timer.
They're hoping that someone comes in and checks on this red.
Yeah.
Someone will come in and check on the red.
Oh, dear. That's the sweeper down.
But will Curse be in position for an attack?
Oh, God, they are just...
Oh, man.
This is a game of peekaboo right now. Oh, the pink wards everywhere. Get out of there. Does not want any of that. Scar trying to look for a safe spot. It's going to be Kiwi Kid taking a bit of damage in the beginning. Dominates now into the fight, and they do take down Kiwi Kid. The box is obsolete. This means all of these DPS users can run around freely. A great wall going down. Scar actually gets Voyboy. Where's Crumbs? Cruiser, both about 700 health combined. The shield comes up on the passive. Oh, no way. He lives for a second. I don't think he's going to make it out too far. Does Cop have Adrenaline Rush? They turn actually onto Cruiser for this one. A middle turret being pushed by I'm a Cutie Pie right now. The Dig may grab off well here.
So he does get the shutdown at the end of this one, but that could have been a lot worse. Very interesting fight right there. No one ends up taking the Dragon. Cutie Pie might actually go down and grab that, which would, in theory, equalize the fight. And
A
make
turret
it good
and
for
another
Dignitas.
turret.
But check this out. St. Fish's blows a lot of crowd control on Cruiser, actually, which I think was a fatal flaw. He pulverized him, doesn't really do much, which delays the initiation of the rest of Dignitas. Then he flashes in for a headbutt, which is very surprising. He could have locked down a lot more people. This fight just continues. Another key pulverize here. Watch St. Fish's stop Scar's dash. That actually saved Voyboy's life for a split second. This fight could have went in a lot of different directions. Cop, though, was pretty much untouched, and the chase was a little bit underwhelming for Curse. Great running by Cruiser, landing almost every cleaver, and he's the one who allowed Crumbs to escape.
Good focus. Cutie Pie getting the mid turret, getting the Dragon for the team as well, so they gain a good bit off of that.
They do, actually. Dignitas, who got caught out in the fight, had more people die, and nearly got aced, come out ahead because I'm a Cutie Pie, was able to sneak off and grab the Dragon. It was a very tactical play there by him to just pick that one up off the back of the fight. Very fortunate almost, because I don't necessarily think it was super intentional. He just happened to get peeled to that side of the fight. And the team said, hey, Dragon's up. No one's going to do Baron. Just go grab it.
Scara not having the score he usually has had in the 6 straight wins for Dignitas, and it's slowing the team down a bit. Crumbs is there getting in with the engagements. 1-0 and 7.
Those pink wars are going to last a while.
Yeah.
9, 10.
Yeah. Good shots. A little return on investment there. Putting his wards down.
It's 200 more gold. Dignitas gets back from that fight.
Yeah.
Technically more because they get the gold kill from the gold as well.
Ooh.
So 100 each plus the 20.
That's good investing right there.
Big money. That's almost a kill. It's crazy when you think of it like that. It's a kill on a guy who's been feeding a little bit.
Just a little bit. Find the next one. 0-4-4. Kiwi Kid has been a very big focus of this game, and he's actually been one of a huge initiator for Dignitas. With the Annie, with the box that hasn't been used this game.
Yeah, he hasn't been the initiator
it's been falling apart.
in this one. He's really relegated into the role of just trying to stop the assault of Curse on his Thresh so far. Really just trying to throw up the box and playing. The people that will be initiating are Crumb, Scar, Cruiser. Kiwi Kid's not needed. He's needed to keep I'm a Cutie Pie alive. The Baron is going to be a big point of contention here as well.
I'm just considering now this Akali pick that everybody's grouping. With it being after the Gragas, you know, it kind of depletes the jumping in. We saw it work before and he was able to kill Quas, but it might prove difficult when Crumbs is going in and you can't get in with him.
Oh, can they get any follow-up over the wall? Saints all by himself over there. Teleport coming in, Baron low.
Kyle's off to the side, needs to get back to the farm. Cruiser coming in on teleport. He's going to be safe for now. Death sentence not hitting. Both teams kind of letting these cooldowns come back up now before they reposition, just staring at the whites of each other's eyes.
Yeah, I feel like this is a bad move for Curse right now because I Will Dominate took about half his health bar from the culling. He has almost no defensive armor on Pantheon right there. But they still might be looking for something. I Will Dominate sticking around. Still sweeping out wards. This is the moment that the game will be decided. Dignitas has crawled back from a 5,000 gold deficit with no big wins, just a bunch of small incremental ones. And now they might be strong enough to win a team fight and take control of this game.
Scara has the Zanya's outplay capability in this game. That item was finished up. Like we said, Crumbs 1-0 and 7, so he's tanking enough for the initial all-in that is required by Assault and Battery. For now, both teams are going to back off.
Yeah, Pantheon has some definite fall off, and he's feeling it right now. Didn't get any of the kills. Has not been able to build up sufficient tank stats. The Curse has got to be a little bit worried about that at this point. Likewise, if Scara can get onto Cop and finish him off, it would be a huge swing in these fights. The late game power of these teams is actually very close. A lot of times we get to tell these cool stories about this really weak early game team versus a great late game team, but it's not the case right here. Yasuo scales amazingly, Pantheon doesn't. Akali can just go crazy. Lucian doesn't scale necessarily as well as Draven, but he has more mobility. Like, there's a lot of conflicting goals that are going on right here. And it's only a 700 to 800 gold lead for Curse. It was 5,000 before.
And what are we looking for from Dignitas? What is their optimal engagement?
Yeah, I think it's just any type, like anybody but St. Vicious right now. There's 4 squishy targets on Curse right now. All of them are good, which makes teamfights a very tricky thing. I don't know if catching Cruz is the best idea, but they're going for it.
Sadism still up, actually gets thrown on from the outside. The flash engage again coming in here from Crumbs. They're going to be big. He gets 3 on the ultimate of Yasuo. Voyboy, a beautiful job there. They all fall to the ground and are running for their lives. Dignitas now trying to regroup on this, reassess the fight, but Curse is huddled. They're looking to attack. Piercing down now, it's going to be on a cutie pie. He looks to get the calling out, pushing back St. Vicious, and they reconsider.
Curse is the only team to have a death in that fight. But look at all the flashing red on Dignitas. That fight was ridiculously close, just like this game. They tried to kill Cruiser, and since they didn't kill him in time, they risked a disaster right there. Good Lord, Rib, that was close. I have to question the initiation from Saint. Blowing a flash pulverize on a non-priority target is devastating.
See him going in, and it's hard. They don't have vision of what's below them either.
Yeah, Cruiser pops his ultimate right there, and Crumbs comes in without a bunch of damage. One thing to note in this fight is pay attention to Scar's health and how much he spell vamps to stay alive. First off, he Zhonya's the ultimate from Draven. Then he dashes to finish off Quas right here. And then life steals off a minion as well when he dashes to it to just barely stay alive. That was so close to being a 1-for-1, but Scar stays alive.
Great play right there. Put him on a champion where you can outplay, and he will surely put himself in that situation. Lasagna's keeping him alive, very much so, in the rush of that Hextech Gunblade, keeping that spell vamp coming in clean. 12-10, 31 minutes into this game, and Dig has taken the gold lead.
Yeah, they're really accumulating gold at a crisp pace right now. Big items, though, on Quas. If he can land any type of stuff on I'm a Cutie Pie. You can see I'm a Cutie Pie is going towards a Guardian Angel, but he built the Chain Vest first because he's more worried about the Yasuo finish, not so much the Gragas. That's the difficulty of itemizing against Curse right now. They have 2 really high damage bursts with different damage types.
Dignitas grabbing up another dragon, or rather Curse, I should say.
Yeah.
And they move their way up
Gives
here.
them the gold lead. They haven't been getting too many of those dragons, actually. So it's very important that they get that.
Gold lead just creeping up a little bit more, as you said. 4-2 in turrets has given them the ability to get themselves in these positions to initiate, but now they're not as clean on the initiation.
Yeah, and you can see the Black Cleaver on I Will Dominate and the lack of armor penetration on Voyboy. Those 2 actually have to work together and make sure they're hitting the same target at this point. There's a lot of peel that actually has to be done from the Curse side now that Crumbs and Cruiser have hit such tanky proportions. In order to kill them, they have to focus the Black Cleaver stacks with their physical damage. It'll be an interesting thing to track in these teamfights, whether they just dive in and ignore them, or whether they pull back and try and finish them off together. Because I think if they do one or the other, it works, but if they split up, and you say Voyboy goes in while I Will Dominate peels, the Black Cleaver's not going to be useful.
Everybody's got to be on the same page. It's going to make it hard. Hopefully Quas doesn't bounce anybody out. Those ults don't complement each other too well, but the damage, that's always complementary. 52,000, just a bit ahead here as they try to squeak the wards out of Baron Pit, deny that vision. The hashtag no fog is really the priority here for both teams.
It's a good one. No fog. Trying to light up the map right now. A lot of sweeping so far. St. Vicious not dying on Alistair, actually. I was expecting him to.
Well, you said competitive play was a bit safer.
There's definitely
so
more deaths.
Definitely have that calm.
6 deaths a game average on a supporting and solo queue. 0 deaths so far this game. Stepping it up.
Cubikid's got 4. He had about the least on the team, transferring from the most in the previous splits.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Cubikid
set a record for deaths in the LCS. And I'm sure he's constantly reminded.
Hey, a record is a record.
It is in the top lane. But on support, he has been really good.
Yeah,
this split.
His Annie play was banned out this game. We saw it earlier today, and he pretty much wrecked house. I think his second item was a needlessly large rod on Annie. So
danger.
What are you going to do? You're going to die from that. St. Vicious and crew walking over a ward here. They're going to hatch that right quick, and that is the knowledge.
Necessarily sweep that spot. That's not a spot you think to sweep. That's the spot you would think to sweep. But it does reach back. They were able to click that ward down. I wonder how aggressive Dignitas is going to decide to get here, knowing that they've kind of clawed their way back.
Yeah, it's the first time we kind of see him on the other half of the map.
They're starting to take a little bit of control. Curse has lost theirs. You know, turrets are so close to this game as well. The map is very open right now. Guardian Angel has been completed by Voyboy, which is really key. but I think the Last Whisper is going to be the item that puts him over the top.
And you see a lot of Curse kind of mitigating against what Scar is going to do right now. The Negatron's Cloak being picked up, at least so you can sustain that initial burst. Hopefully live.
Yeah.
Scar is going to be at your throat. We saw what happened when Quads tried to bounce him away. He was right back in the fight.
Scar really wants his Lich Bane, actually, if he wants to be able to combo his burst insanely. They're at a bit of a standstill. I think both teams are a little bit scared of what's happening here because Curse has been pressing so hard for the past 15 minutes or so. Initiating onto the wrong targets, I think. They've pulverized Cruiser by himself 2 fights in a row, and that's allowed Dignitas to take these little small advantages. And Dignitas has gotten most of those because Curse is pressing a bit too hard and not able to find them and still taking it anyway. So this kind of means that both teams are now scared of going because Curse's initiations haven't worked well for them, and Dignitas has only worked well because Curse is over-initiating.
The man drops have been giving him the chance to come back.
Something has to change at this point because Curse has stopped taking the risks.
Yeah, we haven't seen a man drop.
Yep.
Probably a good 10 minutes to come in here unless it was on a fight that was right in front of Dominate. They're not initiating. They were going for Kiwi Kid a lot earlier. They're trying to dictate something here in mid with a pretty solid push on both side lanes.
Yeah, and the items are still building up. You know, the Lich Bane did get completed by Scar, which means maybe now they'll think they'll have enough aggression. Or are they actually waiting for Cutie to finish either his Infinity Edge or his Guardian Angel, both of which are huge items for him.
Cutie Pie has been one lately that we've seen crushing for Dignitas, but everybody really doing their part here. It's usually been a roll and somebody follows that momentum. We see they're doing it as a team this time.
Yeah, and another thing is Cop is so far behind in CS, in small part because the rest of his team, since they've been grouped up so far, gets the CS before he has a chance for it. Whereas Dignitas is giving a lot back to Cutie Pie. So the 80 carry distribution team by team, Dig is trusting Cutie Pie more with his farm. We might see the fight now. They're really playing with fire.
That was a very close death sentence. Quas just out of range. They're pushed off quite far from their turret. If that's what Curse wanted, they're getting what they want.
Yeah, this could be an open fight for both teams. It's a slightly more advantageous position for Dignitas because they could fall back theoretically to their turret.
Kite it right in.
Curse recognizes that. They know they have nothing to fall back to. So they're actually backing away a little bit, hoping to find a catch. But St. Fitch's only sees Cruiser as a potential initiation target. That's why he's not going.
I like this.
If he can get by, he might go.
5v5 laning phase at 36 minutes into the game, and it looks like we're going back and forth. Cop and the team looks to pressure a little harder. Respect is being given on both sides. You walk at us, we'll walk back, and same on the other side.
They're really just waiting for someone to make a mistake, someone to go a little bit too far. This is pretty close to the turret. Here comes Curse.
They lock down the man drop. It's going to be for Crumbs. He's been a huge factor with the assault and battery. He still tries to get out. The cask takes him down. Beautiful ult coming in from Cutie Pie, but he's in the backside. Can he get some more in? Cop has already thrown his. They do get Scar. Double kill for Quas. Looking for more. It's going to be Cruiser now as the only focus. They're trying to shoot the closest thing, but does that give Kiwi Kid and Cutie Pie a chance? No, it does not.
It's still just a 2-for-1. How much can Curse get out of this one? Because Cutie Pie is a great defender, but there's so much damage he has to be afraid of.
Get the turret down. Second tier is that gold in their pocket. A 2,000 gold lead back in favor of Curse. That was a long standoff to see the man drop again.
Curse finally pulled the trigger, and they got the initiation onto someone who isn't Dr. Mundo, which was the key right there. They comboed down onto Crumbs. Like we said, I will dominate, shredded the armor early on in the initiation, and the rest of the team piled on. Pop in particular. Look at that. They push him back. Dignitas could not necessarily help with the initiation. They burst him down, finished by the barrel, and then it was still a pretty close fight after this. You can definitely see Scar was super close to getting the GA proc onto Voyboy. He went down to a barrel, unfortunately, and then Curse is just pushing them back at this point. Since Dignitas had lost their tank line threat, they had to fall away, and they were more vulnerable to the assassination of Curse, which is why they ended up losing the turret.
Very good play from Curse. So many squishy champions in the fight, but they're using everything in the perfect order to stay alive here. Dignitas trying to soak up any bit of resources they have right now in the jungle. Barons and dragons, very much a thing right now. The dragon has become alive. We'll see if anybody even goes for that. It's worth a bit of gold now, this late in the game.
Average level in the game is higher than 15. That's the highest level for the dragon to get to, which means he gives 260 gold per person.
It's a good chunk of change.
And Curse, are they going to rush this? I think if there was no ward inside there, they may have, but they're still going to force. They're just going straight for it. They think Dignitas out of position there. Right, Scar is killing the dragon right now. He needs to get off of that.
He does take it down. That's a bit of gold. Here comes the teleport in. It's going to be Cruiser. Do they have it? Oh, no, that is not going to have it for you, Crumbs. They get in. It's going to be getting out of the fight that's going to be tough. It's Cruiser right in the back line. Crumbs tries to, I think I can help you. And he may be able to. On to Void Boy, but the focus is there from Curse. You can almost hear the comms.
If somebody knows something about smite steals, it would be St. Vicious, and he did not give I Will Dominate a chance to miss that one. Curse continues.
Void Boy trying to go in, misses the dash, but he gets another one onto Skara. He's forced to go into the fight, the Zanyas, but to what avail? Going down after that, but you look good in gold.
They are going to get so much off of this. Look at the duration of the death timers, 40 minutes into the game. Curse capitalizing on a Dignitas positional error, and they're getting that inhibitor.
Curse knew what they wanted the whole time while kiting Dignitas back and forth in that top lane. It looks like they are going to tank it up for a Nexus. The angle they have only makes a shot by one turret.
Yeah, this is almost indefensible for I'm a Cutie Pie. The minions are here. This is a Curse victory.
A great headbutt out. It's going to be Cutie Pie. The 1, the 2, the 3. It goes over. He does get a kill, though. He's able to take one down, but it's going to be too little too late. The Nexus goes down, and Curse is going to be able to stop that Dignitas train.
St. Vicious's return. Right there comes in victory.
The man behind the curtain.
Oh my God,
out.
that headbutt. Right as Crumbs was trying to ball breaker in for the steal, he's sharing some kind words with I Will Dominate. He says, you know what? When I was a jungler, everyone other junglers getting to steal my Baron.